Yeah. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Let's go. Welcome to Straight Up TJAY. Tap in, sit back, press replay. Been locked in with the Saints on a weekday. Now we talking every sport, every big play. Years on the grind, now we level up the view. From the dome to the world, get a better look at you. No script.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. Welcome to another edition of the Straight Up TJAY podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Been a couple days since I did a podcast, so hope everybody had a good weekend. And before I get started, I just ask that you hit the subscribe button if you have not already. And on your way in, please hit the like button to help the Straight Up TJAY podcast to grow. A couple of church announcements here. I want to give a special shout out to all of the nurses that are out here making the world a better place. All right. If you don't know, it is Nurse Appreciation Week and as well as Teacher Appreciation Week. So all the teachers out there, special shout out to them for educating our children, educating us. Want to give a special shout out to a special nurse, my beautiful wife, Ashley. Shouts out to her. And, you know, so many people out here that are making the world better. So just wanted to give them a shout out before we go ahead and we go get started. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Also, it's always a pleasure to see so many amazing people in the chat. Cinco de Mayo. Yes, Jerry, it is Cinco de Mayo. Shouts out to David Benavidez, the Mexican monster out there handling business this past weekend in boxing. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and man, it's just amazing, man. Like, you know, Cinco de Mayo, you know, man, it just one of those you know, occasions where people just love to have a good time, man. So shouts out to all the Hispanic individuals out there, the Hispanic community, you know, special shout out to them. And so many other people that, you know, that are out here grinding, you know what I'm saying? Like out here doing what they need to do in order to, you know, take care of their families. And, you know, y'all know how it is, man. So I just appreciate everybody here. And, you know, I don't want to go ahead and get started because I know I did set up this show a tad bit late. All right. I did set up the show a tad bit late. I was out. I was barbecuing, you know. I put a couple of little burgers on the grill. Your boy got himself some Patton high size patty, got his hands on some, you know what I mean? And also, man, I went to the park with the Pac-Man and his buddy from the neighborhood, man. It was out there practicing. They're about to kick off flag football. And you know, just wanted to get those guys going. But yeah, man, all in all, you know, pretty busy afternoon, busy evening, but definitely was happy to do this show. Man, honestly, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I mean, I had something, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I thought maybe I'll talk about some undrafted rookies, you know, who can, you know, maybe bring something to the table, you know, talk a little bit about that. But man, I did not know that we would be talking about something that would be so interesting in regards to Tyrann Mathieu and Alvin Kamara. Now, Alvin Kamara was on the Tyrann Armstead's podcast, I believe a few weeks ago. Tyrann Armstead was supposed to have AK on, but I guess the issues, you know, schedule conflicts or something like that, I don't know. But he finally got an opportunity to get AK on the podcast. And shouts out to T-Stead, man, doing an amazing job, killing it over there in the podcasting world. Just a fun-loving guy from, you know, I never met T-Stead, but he seems like a fun-loving guy. You know, picked the wrong HBCU to go to, but we'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? We Jackson State representatives over here. But at the end of the day, doing it in a podcast and space. And once again, he had AK on the show, and you know, they talked a little bit, and we're going to be breaking this video down. And we're also going to be talking about Tyrann Mathieu, man. Tyrann Mathieu spilling the beans, spilling the tea, if you will, about maybe some members of the organization having a little resentment towards AK. All right, so sit back, relax. Y'all already know what it is, man. Put it in the chat what you're drinking on tonight. Now, right here, what I'm drinking on, Hopefully I ain't shake it up too much and I pop it open and it fizz all over me. Pause. We got LaCroix peach pear. All right, this is from my wife's archives right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that a try. And I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna check out this video, man. It's about 15 minutes long. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, ladies and gentlemen, as we see the interview on the TJAY podcast with Saints great Alvin Kamara. Here we go, folks.
Came on here smooth as hell.
What's up, man?
He came on smooth as
I'm winding down. I'm in Miami. I heard you talk about Miami a little bit. I'm in Miami just having the ball, man.
Turning up another night.
Training, man. You know what time it is, though. You know what mode I get in when I get out here. I was winding down. I was actually outside reading the book. Just chilling.
Okay, what you reading right now? What's on your mental?
It's a book called Buy Back Your Time.
It sounds fire. Sound like it's got some depth to it.
Yeah, man. This is about, reclaiming your freedom, building an empire. So I was just reading a little bit of that. Shout out Zev Melman, chiropractor down here in the MIA. He put me on. We had a little deep conversation. I was getting adjusted and we just started talking. And he was telling me that's what he was reading. So I had to dive in. But it's a good little book. So
Fire, for sure.
I got my blue lights blocking shades on. I was winding down.
Yeah.
But I had to come, anytime you call me, it's up.
Listen, I greatly appreciate you, man. The fans are here. They're in attendance. Yeah. They've been waiting to hear from you. No doubt about it. What's going on? How's your off season going? I know you're in Miami, you're training. How's your off season going?
Man, it's good, man. I've been daddy duty, story going crazy. Daddy duty. Man, I've been traveling a little bit, man. I've just been building, like just a lot of the off the field stuff I got going on. Some real estate projects I've been working on in Birmingham. Film company. We just wrapped up filming the second season. So that we had running on BET called I Got a Story to Tell. Shout out Marcus Smoot Films, our Gentry Reese with partners. So we just wrapped up filming that a couple weeks ago. Man, I've been heavy with the Africa situation, just importing rice and doing that whole thing.
Shout out Liberia for sure.
Yeah, I got a super crazy project I've been working on for maybe about a year now, like building a mobile money platform for to launch in Liberia. Yeah, man. TA, I always got something.
I love it, dog.
Man, building the app right now. So that's like near it. We get into a good spot. We almost in a beta testing phase right now. So just doing a lot, man. Running around.
Nah.
All right. So first off, I just want to say, Alvin Kamara out here doing amazing things. I have no problem with that. You shouldn't have any problem with that. And it pretty much, reconfirms and reassures what we already know about Alvin, that, he's a man that has many hats and he marches to the beat of his own drum. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. All right. And this may make some Saints fans upset, but quite frankly, I don't give a damn. Last season, before we realized and knew that Derek Carr was going to retire, when the Saints had their off-season workouts, everybody was going in on Derek Carr. Why isn't he there? Why isn't he a part of the off-season process? He isn't showing any type of leadership. He's supposed to be the leader of the team. Why isn't he there? This, that, and the third. Now, it's amazing to me that nobody is really making a big deal out of this. Now, I get that Alvin Kamara likes to train by himself, and he's always done that. But you also have to take into account that based on Demario Davis not being there, based on Cam Jordan not being there, based on Taysom Hill not being there, like you basically are the one cornerstone player, the one that guys are going to be looking at for leadership. So I kind of find that, I just feel like people aren't saying that because maybe they like Alvin Kamara a little bit more than Derek Carr. But I'm just saying, if we're going to hold leaders to a certain standard, if we're going to sit up here and say, oh man, this dude is not a leader, he isn't around, what makes Alvin Kamara different from Derek Carr? Other than the fact that people like him. I gotta keep it 100. You got a young quarterback who is going to start his first full season. You got a bunch of guys on the team that are trying to establish a rapport, and you're not around. I mean, honestly, I don't care if you are getting it in, working out. There's a lot of guys on this team. It would mean a lot to see a veteran, a leader. I mean, a guy who has a C on his chest and Alvin Kamara being at the facility. But for some apparent reason, we don't want to have this conversation. I don't understand why. And this isn't a shot at Alvin. I mean, it's not like I don't feel like he won't be prepared and all that stuff, but I just think leaders need to lead. You need to be out in front. It can't just be, oh, I'm just a leader because I've been on a team for a long time. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like there's a tad bit of hypocrisy there when it comes to Alvin Kamara, because people were ready to march down to Airline Drive with pitchforks and torches when Derek Carr didn't show up. Meanwhile, Alvin Kamara, the elder statesman on the team, isn't around. Nobody says anything. But I digress. Back to the video.
You never cease to amaze me, bro. How you are in the range, bro. You're doing real estate. Hold on. Pause. You're doing real estate in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
You're building an app and importing food to Liberia.
Yeah.
Like, how, bro? Like, how are you able to facilitate all these different things and execute on all these different things at once?
And man, I got a team, dog. Like, really, I'm big on saying names. So, Renard Mead, Craft Builders in New Orleans. That's my guy. He built my house in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I was always into real estate. But when I got with him and like built my house and started kind of like buying up some real estate in New Orleans, like we really locked in. And I was like, man, I don't want to turn up. I don't do nothing halfway. So we just started branching off. Like we in Atlanta, this Birmingham project coming up is going to be a big one. So he's with me. He anything real estate, like, man, I know I can lean on Renard and Oleg, his partner, man. I lean on them and they, they guide me and walk me through it. I can close my eyes. I can sleep peacefully at night knowing they got it on lock, And then day to day, everything that I got going on from Africa to New Orleans, Atlanta, Reagan, man, my assistant, my right hand. That's my dog. That's more than my assistant. That's really like my friend, like one of my best friends. She hold me down, keep me organized. Man, I'm talking about from A to Z. She make it happen. So, man, I want more, so I do more, man. I'm just balancing everything, reaching for everything.
You're doing it, bro. You doing it. And a lot of people get involved in certain things in the off season. I was busy in the off season, but the magnitude that you do these projects and the execution of them, you had your own cereal. The man had his own cereal, y'all. Like, come on, bro. He had his own NASCAR team. Had his own airheads.
I've been telling people, brother, the way I do one thing is the way I do everything, man. I can't half step. So it's just I think a lot of people are scared to chase what they're interested in, and I ain't never been scared of that.
Yeah,
I'm going. I'm gonna go.
You do for sure. I want to ask you about the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah,
the draft just happened. I really want to get your thoughts on the Saints' first pick, number 8 overall, Jordan Tyson.
Zorn. Yeah, man. I mean, super talented. Watched him a little bit in college. And I mean, he doing some things that you see and you like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So super excited to get him in the building. I'll be, I ain't been in New Orleans, but I'll be over there soon. I'll go check him out and go all the draft picks really, but just tap in and say what's up to those guys. But super excited to see what he could do. I know he's just another weapon for the offense. man, we always looking for weapons. So it should be exciting.
So no reaching out at all. I'm man. I don't know. Like I just I ain't trying to nitpick here, but I just feel like, man, if you're gonna be a leader on a team and people look at you as a leader, man, I just think that, I'm not saying you gotta roll up, you know what I'm saying, to the draft or anything like that, but I do think, man, reaching out to like some of the younger guys, like we've seen like videos and we also heard like interviews from all of these different players that were drafted. And they asked, I'm talking about offensively and defensively, did they speak to Tyler Shuck? And Tyler Shuck texting these guys, come on, let's go to work. I don't know, man. I just think that those type of things mean a lot. Like when you are a leader on a team, like your opinion, your views, it just carries weight. And I just think that, if you are a leader, if you are, a person are in a position where people look at you as the leader, as the front guy, then I just think that you need to carry yourself as such.
A lot of draft experts had him as the number one receiver coming out of the draft. I think Cornell Tate was the only one to go ahead of him.
Yeah.
But what I seen from Jordan Tyson is explosive, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Explosive.
Yeah. We know explosive, so yeah, he definitely explosive. Like I'm excited to see it translate. I think we'll have him right.
I already know.
Yeah, you know how that go.
Just talking more about the offseason, the Saints had been busy in free agency, bringing over a ton of the top names.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the David Andrews coming in at the left guard spot out of Buffalo?
We on the set, man. He nasty, dog. He nasty. I definitely a good pickup. I mean, dude that plays nasty, plays discipline. I mean, he moves stuff. You know what I'm saying? So excited to, anytime I'm a running back. Anytime we get a O lineman in there that can provide some help, man, I'm excited. So again, when I get over to New Orleans, make sure show some love to him and get with him because.
Okay, I'm gonna just say this and make this clear. I don't think that Alvin Kamara is washed. I don't think that Alvin Kamara is like one of those running backs that won't produce. I think that with the addition of Travis Etienne and also the Saints fixing the offensive line, you'll see a better version of Alvin Kamara. So I'm pretty sure he is excited. Being able to have an offensive lineman on a team where he knows for a fact maybe he run behind, he can get some plus yardage. Besides, like as soon as he get the ball, there's a defender in the backfield ready to take him down. So, yeah, I'm excited about David Edwards too, and I know that the entire running back room is going to be, as well as all the wide receivers, especially Tyler Shuck.
He's going to be helping a lot.
That's a fact. Speaking of O-line, I've had a number of the Saints O-line here in Dallas. We've been training this offseason. Going through the set, I've had both tackles, Tally and Kelvin Banks. C's, Will Sherman.
Yeah.
I seen Richard. Like we really been getting after it.
You ain't gonna let him slack.
Never. Not for 1 second.
Yeah.
Not for 1 second.
Yeah.
You got another weapon in the backfield with you, Travis Etienne. Talk to me about him and his game. What he's bringing to the Saints.
I've watched him in Jacksonville. These past couple of years, and explosive. He hit home runs. He did it in college. Strong dude, seems smart. I'm excited to see what we could do together. I think, and I ain't into social media and all that. I don't do too much watching and stuff, but I think a lot of people be thinking it's like beef or something. Like when moves like this happen, and it's like, man, I couldn't be happier. Like one, my boy got paid, and two, like, man, there ain't nothing but some help in the backfield. Like, man, that's the name of the game. Shoot, you adept. One person can't do it by themselves, so I'm cool. I'm cool with it, man. Whatever.
Yeah. So look, I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm not surprised that Alvin don't have an issue with Travis Etienne. I've said this on the podcast quite a few times. I said that Alvin will embrace the fact of another running back coming in to alleviate pressure off of him. because that will allow him to be able to do some of the things that makes him special. And then also it can preserve his body and, be able to help him to be able to get through an entire season. Alvin Kamara has been the bell cow back for the last 3 to 4 years. When the Saints running game was like at his peak with him and Mark Ingram, it was a good change of pace. Like it was like one game where you'll see Alvin Kamara, probably get the majority of the carries because he's having a hot game. And then Mark Ingram would come through. He'll be having a hot game. And, like it kind of balanced each other out. And I think when it comes to Etienne and Kamara, I think that they can be a very formidable bunch. And I don't think that there's any type of resentment. That's never been the issue. But you also have to like take into account like some of these younger guys that the Saints organization have brought in, guys like Devin Neal coming through, and you got Ty Chandler who they just signed, and some of these other players that that are going to be important to this running back room. And also you have to take into account the durability issues of Alvin Kamara, which I feel like you're gonna have a much better version of Alvin because you're not asking him to do as much as you did in years past. You're going to see a much better version of him. But all in all, I never thought that it would be an issue, and I believe him when he says this. I sometimes you got to take things that people say and tongue in cheek, so to speak. But I really honestly feel like he feels that way, and because I've heard him say this in the past about bringing in some other running backs into the room in order to kind of make the running attack a little bit more important to the team again.
Whichever direction that we can take it, I mean, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't had really a chance too much to talk to him, but definitely excited that he got a fleur de lis on his helmet. He got paid and time to work.
For sure. Yeah. He we've seen it before. Like we've seen the combo before with you and Mark Ingram.
Man. Come on,
what I mean?
Yeah.
So can you guys can we get that again? Can we see that type of production out of the backfield from a two-headed monster?
Man, I think that's what we're trying to find, man. Like I think me and Mark set the bar
high.
Yeah, very high. And I think that's what efficiency looks like on a very high level. So I mean, I'm 100% for it. Like if that's what direction we going in, I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean, not just Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, but T. Stead and that entire offensive line, man. Like the reason why Saints fans are so upset at what they have seen from the offense over the last few years is because the New Orleans Saints were the epitome of offensive efficiency for nearly 2 decades. Like they were always like top of the league in passing, touchdowns, yards, points. Like the dome was a sacred place. It was a place that people like hated to go to because when the Saints up by 3 touchdowns before halftime, like people just out there, they drinking, they loud, they losing their freaking mind, and people hated to come to the dome. Now it's like, I don't know, like it's just a regular game. And you got to be able to get back to the things that made you what you are and who you are. And in some cases, you got to surpass that. I say this all the time on the podcast. The standard was set so high by Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and that offense that some of you Saints fans don't even know what life is like when the Saints never had that. Like some of you like don't like, this is like uncharted territory to you all. This is like being born rich and then your parents lose everything and now you don't have anything. Like that's what some of you are experiencing. So when you see this, it's like, man, what the hell is going on here? But it also makes you have an appreciation and understand that, like, man, when you got lightning in a bottle, man, you got to capture it and you got to hold on to it as long as you possibly can. And when you have those magic moments, when you have those special players, you got to be able to appreciate them while they're there. You got to be able to appreciate them and see and realize that what you are witnessing is something special. And what the Saints had was something special. And in some cases, I think we all kind of took it for granted. You know, when Drew Brees left, we kind of, felt, oh man, everything is going to be okay. Or the Saints probably, go through some dark times. It's going to be okay. But nobody ever really thought that things would get as bad as they have. They felt like maybe Drew Brees kind of, set a standard where the New Orleans Saints can be able to follow. The issue is the New Orleans Saints didn't have a true succession plan. This was a team, and I got to be real. This is a team that never experienced prosperity before Drew, and they didn't know what to do after that. So I'm thinking that hopefully they're being steered in the right direction when it comes to the leadership up top. It seems as if they're doing the right things in order to get the Saints into some type of contention. But at the end of the day, you have to appreciate the things that are special, like when it's happening. Like you got to be able to kind of sit back and appreciate that ish. It's like, okay, I don't want to, get too personal, but it's like me being a father, right? My son is 6 years old, and everybody tells me, they're like, man, enjoy this, man, because it happens fast. And I'm starting to realize that even though he's just 6, like I can remember like bringing him home from the hospital. Now I'm having full-fledged conversations with him, and now he's coming into his own and he has friends, and it's just like, man, like he doesn't like need me for some of these things. And like that's kind of like how it is when it comes to special moments. So when you have those, man, you got to hold on to it, because you never know. You might end up being like the Saints have been over the last 5 seasons. Let's continue.
I think we can get some. I think we can get there. Tutu, my dog. So I ain't gonna say we're gonna recreate that, but we'll see. We got to get close. We got to reach for it.
Shout out to those dudes for sure.
Yeah, it was dude.
Tyler Shuck. We talked about him, of course, when we did the in-person episode on the set, and he came on the set too as well. Shout out Tyler.
Sure.
It's a lot of belief in him and what he's shown in his first year. Have you guys had any conversation this offseason in preparation of his sophomore NFL season?
So me and T, we supposed to be getting up, to talk some ball, kind of fellowship a little bit and get some work. But I mean, we were talking about it closing out the year, and I ain't gonna go into too much detail of what we was talking about, but I just told him, it's higher expectations. It's gonna be higher expectations now. And you remember, we used to sit there in the team room, and Sean used to be like, man, you don't drink the Kool-Aid,
Right.
like, man, just work. You go 10 times harder, work, because what I'm saying, now it's for real. You day one, week one starter, like you got to put together a whole season. And it's a lot of expectations. It's belief. It's believers, it's non-believers, it's people in the middle, it's people wanting to see you fail, it's people that want to see you do well. It's like you gotta find your happy place in saying, like, shoot, I know all that is going on, but I still gotta come to work and I gotta perform. So I think he.
Yeah. So look, I agree with what he's saying here when it comes to Tyler Shuck. Now, you're the toast of the town now because you looked the part, but you didn't play an entire season. And look, people are falling in love with Tyler Shuck, and not just Saints fans. Like, I'm talking about the NFL as a whole. Like, it just seems like this guy has really captured the imagination of a lot of NFL fans. I don't know if it's just his personality, his weird last name, how it doesn't match up with what it actually sounds like, or the fact that people just, this guy kind of just came out of absolutely nowhere. And I mentioned that before. Like, he's like a phoenix that rose from the ashes. Like, nobody saw it coming. Like, people just maybe thought you'll see a little bit of stability at best, but this guy's looking like he can be something special. And look, all this stuff is cool right now. It's because the Saints, the expectations were so low. Like, let's just call it for what it is. The expectations of the New Orleans Saints in 2025 was low. No primetime games. Nobody really looked at the Saints as a threat to anybody. And this guy comes in and he provides hope. Now, you got to go out there and you got to be able to play. He's going and he's ingratiating himself in the city. That's a plus. He's at all these different events. He's getting his offense together. He's reaching out to all of these different young players, trying to establish relationships with them. He is taking it upon himself to be the leader of the New Orleans Saints, and that's cool. But you can do all those things, right? I mean, you can shake hands, you can kiss babies, you can do all those things, but at the end of the day, it's all about winning. It's all about winning. If Tyler Shuck goes out there and he stinks it up in 2026, none of this stuff matters. The expectations for him are high. When he went into the game last season playing with house money because nobody expected anything of him. But now it's like not only are people expecting Tyler Shuck to look the part, they're expecting for him to look like he's among the top quarterbacks in the league. If you look at some of the analytics that are coming out like before the season start, they got Tyler Shuck as a top 10, top 15 quarterback. And this guy only played like what, 9 games? So the expectations are super high for Tyler Shuck. And like I said, people love this guy right now. He got his own song, he getting shucked tonight and all that. But that's like, you got to be out, you got to go out there and ball the hell out. So it seems like he's doing the right things to get himself ready and acclimated to the NFL and to be that leader that the Saints need. But all of this stuff and all this preparation means absolutely nothing if you go out there and look like straight up booty cheeks.
Ready for it, man. He's mature. He got some swag to him. I think like it's like this lightheartedness about his game and his approach that like he works his ass off, but like he also doesn't take himself too serious. You know what I'm saying?
Fun with it for sure.
Yeah, he can have fun with it. And you know, same thing, like the fans and all that. Like I think he deals with it well. Like if it's you know some criticism, he don't shy away from it, but nice. he don't let it, you know, he don't let it pierce his heart, you know. And I mean, if it's some praise, he take it and keep moving. So I'm excited to see what he can do, man. I'm excited for Shuck, man.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stop it right there, man. Pretty much like towards the end of this this interview, from what I remember. But make sure y'all subscribe to T-Stead's channel, man. T-Stead out here killing the game. Like I said, Tyrann Armstead, make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have. Saints, great, one of the best offensive linemen in franchise history, man. One of the best left tackles in Saints history, man, is T-Stead. So shouts out to him. But yeah, man, but at the end of the day, look, Alvin Kamara says he wants to be in New Orleans, it seems. You know, he's talking about the team as if he's going to be a part of the future. And, you know, that's what people want to hear. You know, what I feel like Alvin Kamara's role is going to be. What do you think his role is going to be in 2026? I think that he won't be the featured back in the backfield, and I think he don't have a problem with that. I think that the Saints will have it. You know, I think the Saints will have a plan in place for Alvin Kamara to be a part of the offense. I think that, you know, him not at this stage of his career getting 25 to 30 carries a game, he don't have an issue with that. And I think that he'll have fresh legs. You know, I really do. I think that he'll have fresh legs. I think that, you know, he'll be able to be utilized in different ways. And I think he'll be ready to, you know, do what he needs to do when his number is being called. And you can rely on a younger Travis Etienne to be your feature guy. And, you know, you got some other young guys that are coming through. I think that, you know, they'll have a chance to develop and to be a part of this rotation. But it just seems like the Saints want to run the football to alleviate some of the pressure off Tyler Shuck. They're putting an offensive line together to not only just protect Tyler Shuck, but also to be able to run his football. And I think that they're going to ask these wide receivers to block on the outside a little bit more in order to create lanes for guys like Etienne and the rest of that running back room. If you can have yourself a complementary offense, not just throwing the ball all over the place because Tyler Shuck can sling it, but if you can have a running game where you got a guy like Travis Etienne breaking free, Alvin Kamara, you know, breaking free, Devin Neal, you know, light coming on for him, you know, Kendra, you know, I just think that he's a long shot at this point based on what the Saints have brought in. I just think that the writing is pretty much on the wall, but I just think it's going to be one of those cases where Kendra probably end up like finding himself on another team. And I don't mean like just finding himself like in a facetious way. I mean like finding himself like he'll become a better running back and probably have Saints fans upset that he left. But it just happens. It's just the breaks. I look at this depth chart. I look at this team. I look at the guys that are a part of this team, and these coaches want to be proven right. And when you bring in guys that you selected, that you drafted, I just think that they get first dibs and they get top priority because that is a representation of you. Kendre Miller is not a representation of Kellen Moore because he was there when Kellen Moore got there. He inherited Kendre Miller. But when you go out and you sign guys like Ty Chandler, when you draft guys like Devin Neal, right? You want these guys to be a part of the team's future. So I just think that Kendre Miller more than likely will be the odd man out. But at the end of the day, I think the Saints would serve themselves better if they had a complementary offense. I know everybody's excited about Jordan Tyson and Chris Olave and Bryce Lance and all these young guys that are on the team, bringing some speed, bringing some size. But I just think that a balanced attack will help you because if you're known for just throwing the ball all over the place, well, teams can find ways to try to neutralize your passing game. And if your running game isn't doing what it needs to do, it's going to be a tough day at the office. But if you have a complementary offense, then we're talking about making it extremely tough for teams to be able to stop you. We'll have more right here on the Straight Up TJ podcast after this word from Lucy. This is the State of the Saints podcast. And right now, I want to thank the fine folks at Lucy for being the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. And look, everybody is trying to find ways to unwind, to relax, to have focus, and to have more energy. Some people like energy shots, energy drinks, coffee, right? Even neuro pills to try to get you to focus a little bit more. Everybody is trying to find ways to be in a zone and in a really good space. Now, this is for all of the pouch connoisseurs out there. This is where Lucy comes in. Lucy is 100% tobacco-free pouches, right? And it is available to you in 12 milligrams and 4 milligrams. And it also comes with a hydration capsule, so it just gives you that instant burst and a really good experience. I have a friend of mine, gave him an opportunity to try Lucy, and he has been raving about it, going absolutely crazy about it, and wondering how can he get his hands on some more. Well, if you want to get your hands on Lucy and you are a pouch connoisseur, all you have to do is go to lucy.co/code. And if you don't want to wait, all you have to do is go to their store locator and you'll be able to find Lucy in your area. Now, Lucy is for adults only of legal age, and every customer is age verified. This product contains nicotine, and nicotine, as we know, is an addictive chemical. All right, so make sure that you use responsibly. But once again, want to thank the fine folks at Lucy for being an official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. And if you are a pouch connoisseur, once again, go to lucy.co/code to get 20% off on Lucy. Shout out to Lucy being an official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast as well as Straight Up TJ podcast, man. Really do appreciate you all's time. Please hit the like button to help the channel to grow. Hope you all are enjoying the content so far. If you're just joining us, we just watched the interview on the T-Stead podcast with Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints great. Answered some questions. I guess they're gonna make that thing a 2 or 3 part series. I don't know what we're doing there, but but I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna be paying attention to what AK has to say. Shouts out to Alvin Kamara out there doing amazing things, not just in the local community, but the world at large. But let's go ahead and switch gears, man. Let's talk a little bit about Tyrann Mathieu. All right, talk a little bit about Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu, New Orleans legend, LSU legend. He's finished his career as a member of the New Orleans Saints, and he too is killing the podcast game, doing some amazing things, in the podcasting space. And Tyrann is one of those guys, when he speaks, people listen, right? It's because he is by far one of the best players of his generation, right? He was a part of the all-decade team. Tyrann Mathieu is an outlier. Like, you look at his size, you look at him, man, he, if you ever like see him in person, he just doesn't strike you as a guy that would inflict the type of damage he would at the safety position. And, but an incredibly talented guy. And, when he speaks, man, you can tell, man. I mean, he don't hold anything back, man. It's straight shot, no chaser. And, he had some interesting things to say about Alvin Kamara. And look, I'm going to play this entire segment about Alvin Kamara in its entirety. And we're going to talk about it, because the reason I want to play it is because this is what we do, man. All right, this is what we do. I'm about to be on my soapbox for a second. Please give me a minute. This is what we do, man. We are so hell-bent on clickbait. We are so hell-bent on look at me. We're so hell-bent on, oh man, I want people to see what I'm talking about. Please follow me. That we are willing to cut corners and half-ass it in order for us to be able to get our point across. Now, there was some I guess if you weren't looking at the entire segment of what Tyrann Mathieu said, you would think that there is something there, right? That, possibly taking shots. But you have to be able to look at the entire thing. And I just hope that people just, if you're going to put like a little brief snippet of something, right? Like, make sure that you tell everybody to like go to that particular link and judge for yourself. Like, let them judge for themselves. Like don't bring me to the conclusion. Like, allow me to formulate my own opinion and find my own conclusion based on the facts at hand. But like I said, I'm playing this entire segment because I think that it needs to be played so people can get a better understanding. I've been getting clips sent to me, clips of the segment all day. Shouts out to everybody like who have been reaching out, like been sending me the clip. But, and I appreciate that. But I do want to put this into context. So we're going to listen to this entire segment so you can draw your own conclusion on what Tyrann Mathieu had to say in regards to Alvin Kamara. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that up on the screen right now. We're going to go ahead and play this. It started at about the 28-minute mark, almost close to the 29-minute mark of the podcast. But let's just go ahead and listen to what Tyrann Mathieu had to say in regards to Alvin Kamara.
Man, I'm gonna say something, and I hope it's not taken out of context.
Which it was.
I don't think the Saints is dealing with this in good faith. I don't think so. I don't think this is not what you do to.
I think this is
your
gonna turn
franchise.
ugly.
And I'm
Bad relationship.
I want to be hesitant to say that, but this is not the way you treat your all-time touchdown leader, or And I know Kamara. I know his production hasn't been what we thought it was going to be,
Right.
but he is still this franchise's leader in fucking yards and touchdowns, and so without him having 1,000 yards, rushing.
Right.
So I don't.
I mean,
My honest opinion, bro, is that I think the Saints, and I think I mentioned this on a couple episodes ago, but I think the Saints would rather not have to make a hard decision, and he just walk in one day and say, "Hey, look,
this is what I'm
gonna retire."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they really got the, and I know Mickey. Mickey's I hope you don't take this wrong, but I just don't think they got the balls to just outright cut him. You know, and it's kind of the same thing with Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather you come out and say, Cam, go find someone else to play.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I think some people respect that honesty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Brett Veach told me, like, when I left the Chiefs, bro, he told me, bro, I ain't got no money for you or Tyreek. And I was fucked up about it because I'm like, damn, like, we just come off a Super Bowl and 2 Super Bowls, and like, how the fuck ain't got no money?
Where's the money?
He gave Pat $500 million. Like, tell him to fucking give you $8 million back. I mean,
something.
You can't find that money?
Right. Where is it at?
You know, so
shit buried.
Yeah, bro. But back to Kamara, I just don't think it's gonna end.
No, I don't think it's
you know, and it sucks, bro, because it's very, very hard to play for one team your entire career. But you know, just to get out of this game unscathed is even more impressive. The only motherfucker I know that got out unscathed was, I mean, what, Larry Fitzgerald? You know, but it seems like everybody else sort of hits a wall where it's like,
it's a
you know, it's some tension between you and these clubs that you play for. You know, so I'm gonna leave it at this. But one of my good sources told me, you know, a few people in that building, they are mad at Kamara because of the way he sort of spearheaded getting Dennis Allen fired. And so you got somebody fired, but you didn't produce neither.
Right. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
And I think, you know,
it just
the Saints organization, like, if people that haven't been a part of it, is really like a family. So you're gonna argue, you're gonna fight, you're gonna do all that shit, but at the end of the day, you family.
Right.
And I think a few of those people, a few of those decision makers who was in love with Dennis Allen, because he did have great defenses. He was one of the guys to bring home a Super Bowl. And it's just history there. And I think some people picked the side.
Yeah.
And I think he got caught in it, and
he's still in it.
You know, so I wish him the best, man. I wish him well. You know, you would hope that he could go somewhere and just sort of finish it out, you know, last 2-3 years somewhere. But
you think he made enough money to just say it, like, y'all just go ahead on and cut me, I can go find another job?
Yeah, bro, but everybody don't want to live like that. Like people don't want to bounce around. People don't want to, you know, like,
I get it.
want to be comfortable. People invest millions of dollars into you know, houses, and people, you know, they come out of pocket for, you know, so many community service events. Why the fuck do I have to leave? Like, I want to be here. I'm happy. I'm comfortable. And so
so is it like I mean, I know we got a new running back, but is it like a money stalemate?
Like I said, bro, I don't think it's a money issue. I think it's I think for some people it's personal.
Yeah, because I believe this is like his last year on his deal. Huh?
Yeah. You know, a couple of years ago, you know, you got extension and you know all that, and you know, but it is what it is, bro.
All right, so I didn't try to intervene or anything like that because I want everybody to hear in its entirety. That was Tyrann Mathieu talking about Alvin Kamara. Make sure y'all check it out, man. In the Bayou, Tyrann Mathieu, man. Make sure y'all check it out. Subscribe to their brother's channel. But yeah, man. I mean, he ain't rolled no punches, man. And look, I know, you know, some people, you know, probably, you know, talk about his language and stuff like that, but that's just who he is, man. I'd rather people be who they are than pretend to be something that they're not. But look, here's the thing. I don't think that he's lying when it comes to that. I don't think that he has anything to, you know, gain for putting that information out there. I do think that there was some, you know, I do think that there was a role that Alvin Kamara played when it came to, you know, DA getting fired. I mean, but it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all, man. It's not a surprise that Alvin Kamara was a part of that. I mean, you look at some of the interviews and you know, he's very calculated. Alvin has a way of saying things without necessarily saying things, but kind of just leaving breadcrumbs out there. And, you know, he, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, this is a guy whose name, whose voice carries weight. And when you carry weight with the things that you do, the things that you say, of course, people are going to listen. Of course, like the higher ups are going to pay attention to guys like Cam Jordan and guys like AK when they have an issue or a problem with the way that the team is running, because those guys being happy, kind of, is lock in step with the direction of where the team is going to go. So, yeah, I do think that he played a role in that. But I also got to say this. I think that Tyrann Mathieu liked Dennis Allen. I think that you look at Dennis Allen was a defensive-minded coach. And I think that Dennis Allen played a role in Tyrann Mathieu coming to New Orleans, because Dennis Allen, whether you like him or not, as a head coach, I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't, but as a defensive coordinator, he was one of the best during the time he was a defensive coordinator for the Saints. People look at him like respectfully, as a defensive-minded guy. I know this personally from the individuals that I've talked to around the National Football League that have told me, there's like, man, I don't know about him as a coach, but that guy can coach the hell out of some defense. This is what has been said to me on countless occasions. So maybe Tyrann Mathieu felt, man, maybe if the offense was able to put a few more points on the board, then maybe Dennis Allen would have a job. But I say this, I'm saying this personally. Dennis Allen was not the right fit for the New Orleans Saints. And yes, I do feel like the organization was upset, but not the fact that they just loved Dennis Allen so much. It was the fact that the Saints organization, just like many other organizations around the National Football League, want to be proven right. When they hire somebody, when they sign a player, they want that player to pan out. They want that coach to pan out. And when he does not, then guess what? Like they don't want to be proven wrong, because that makes them look as if they don't know what the hell they're doing. Makes it look like the organization, it is not being steered in the right direction, like it's neglect going on. So yes, I do feel like they had a level of resentment. We already know that. We seen in the verbiage of the letter that Mickey Loomis wrote once Dennis Allen was fired, right? It didn't seem like a guy that thought that he needed to fire Dennis Allen. He was a guy that just felt like his hands were tied, and the hires basically like put his hands behind his back and said, look, man, you about to fire this guy. Like that's what it came down to. He wanted Dennis Allen to work out. He wanted Dennis Allen to stay. But Dennis Allen was not the right guy for the job. It just did not mesh. The energy in the city of New Orleans during the time when Dennis Allen was the head coach was dim as hell. The energy that he came with, that people just couldn't register with. I'm pretty sure you had some players on the team. They know Dennis Allen way more than we do. They know the real Dennis Allen, the personality that he has and all that. But as a fan, listening to this guy, I'm pretty sure some of you, like, man, it's like watching paint dry. The guy was boring, bland, uninterested. And when you come from a guy who has the swag and the ego and the bravado of a Sean Payton, and this is your coach, a guy that if you look at him wrong as you walk off the field, he gonna try to put 2 more touchdowns on your head when they up by 3 touchdowns already. When you see that type of energy, right? Because Saint fans by nature are just petty as hell anyway, right? We don't Saint fans are petty, right? Like, so you speaking our language, right? If we can find another way of making you miserable, guess what? We're going to neutralize that. And when you go from that to, I want to apologize to Arthur Smith, who less than 24 hours was fired by the Falcons organization. When you go from Sean Payton, like looking at Malcolm Jenkins and running a wheel route with Alvin Kamara to put up another touchdown on Malcolm Jenkins just to try to embarrass him, You go from that to I apologize to Arthur Smith, like that ain't the energy, bro. And then on top of that, you bring in one of the most egotistical B plus, borderline C plus quarterbacks who believe that in his mind he was the greatest thing since sliced toast bread, and Derek Carr. Like it just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. The energy did not match. The city's energy did not match the organization. So it was inevitable. It's rather Alvin Kamara would have been the linchpin or somebody else. Like, I like to believe I was the linchpin. I don't know. I like to take some pride in that because Saints fans were miserable. I don't care. Like when people say, man, you was going at Dennis Allen. Hells to the yeah. Because it needed to be done. This guy needed to get the hell up out of there, man. I'm happy that he found success in Chicago, but this wasn't the energy that the New Orleans Saints need. If you're going to be bland, boring, and uninteresting, at least be good at your job. Like, I look at Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore isn't interesting. Like, he's young. Like, nothing like he really says, like, really just knocks your socks off. But he's a smart, intelligent guy. And, like, as long as you got the team steering in the right direction, you bringing in some pieces to help win, who cares? But when you uninterested, boring, and you losing too, and there's no hope in sight, get him out of here. Get him out of here. So, I mean, if Alvin was the linchpin behind it, thank you. Thank you, Alvin. Because you saved a lot of Saints fans' misery. And you honestly saved the organization from themselves. Because they would have kept on trying to keep this Dennis Allen train moving, despite the fact that Saints fans were selling their tickets to the ops. Like, you're willing to be so right about a situation that you're willing to allow your fan base to sell their tickets to the ops just so you can feel right in your selection of Dennis Allen. Wasn't worth it, man. Wasn't worth it at the end of the day. Wasn't worth it at the end of the day. And look, I'm happy for Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen was in the playoffs with the Chicago Bears. Seemed like their defense going in the right direction. I'm happy for the guy. I don't want to see Dennis Allen on the street. The guy's a good defensive coach. But at the end of the day, terrible head coach. And probably would never get another head coaching job as long as he lives. And that's cool. That's fine. But as long as they got a team that needs a defensive coordinator and needs to turn it around, Dennis Allen will have a job. But there's levels to this. There's a reason why some guys are leaders of men, and there's why guys are, on the sidelines, right? I mean, behind the scenes, right? You need those individuals behind the scenes, right? We don't see all of the individuals that are part of the television shows and the game shows and reality shows we love, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that make the show go. All right, but at the end of the day, man, it's levels to this. It's levels to it. Dennis Allen was not the right fit. And if Mickey Loomis is being 100% real with himself, like he should know that by now. Because, and I also want to say this, and I'll read and I'll take the rest of the podcast and I'll just read some of your comments. The whole situation with Dennis Allen was the best thing that ever happened to this organization in the last decade and a half. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is up there with it. And the reason why I'm saying this, like all of the accolades and all the amazing things that took place, I mean, they speak for themselves. But I'm talking about this actually is up there because I mentioned this so many times on this show. The Saints organization fell asleep at the wheel. I'm going to say that again. The Saints organization fell asleep at the wheel. All that winning, all of that, like being in a conversation, all that relevancy made them fall asleep at the wheel. They were coasting. They felt like they was in a Tesla, right? I'm going to stay on the road. I'm going to stay the course. And they lost sight of things that were going on around them, teams getting better and finding other ways to win. And you got lost in the sauce because you kept on wanting to sweat to the oldies, Richard Simmons style, by thinking that Drew Brees was going to come back again and again and again. And then you became arrogant to a point where you just felt like this can be replicated no matter who is in charge. But now you see that once again, goes back to what I just said. There's a reason why people are in leadership roles. There's a reason why people in this life are born to lead, and there are individuals in this life that are made to follow. And I don't mean this in a negative way, because there's nothing wrong with being a follower if you don't know what the hell you're doing. Just because you're a follower doesn't mean that you're not a leader in some other capacity. Maybe you're just not a leader in this particular role, if that makes sense. All right, but there's levels to this, man. Everybody cannot be the top guy. Everybody cannot have a certain position. You may aspire to have that position, but you may not have it in you. You may not have it in you, man. Firing Dennis Allen was the best thing that happened to this organization, whether they want to admit it or not, because we are seeing now in the last year and a half, the New Orleans Saints organization making some of the best damn decisions they have made, and I don't know how long. Tell me when I'm telling lies here. For every decision the New Orleans Saints honestly have made since maybe this time last year, it seems like Saints fans have absolutely no problem with. From, man, chunking up two of them to Dennis Allen, chunking up two of them to Derek Carr, right? Bringing in Kellen Moore, drafting all 9 players last season, and not only drafting guys, but bringing in guys that made a freaking difference. Then stood on business again and not trying to fall into the same traps that got you in a situation in the first place by kicking the can down the road or making it seem like you closer than what you actually are. Gaslighting fans, not being realistic about your state of the organization. Like opening up your eyes and really realizing that, man, we are an absolute issue right now, and how we going to get ourselves back to the middle. And yes, some Saints fans, like they grinned and bared it. Congratulations. But guess what? Now you can get solace in knowing that the situation, unless Mickey Loomis in the front office just absolutely mucks it up again, you'll never be in that situation again if you can help it. Because now, next year, you're in a much better cap situation than you were in this year. So if you got 9 players on your team from last season, they're going to be on rookie deals going into year 3. You got 8 players that you drafted in this past draft. Let's just say 80% of those guys work out. You, sir, you, ma'am, have yourself a rebuild. You have yourself a infrastructure that you can actually win with, because now you got a better cap situation and you can be able to bring in more attractive players that can help you win, especially if Tyler Shuck ends up being everything he is supposed to be, because he's still on a rookie deal. So all of these different things, man, are the butterfly effect. It's the butterfly effect of firing Dennis Allen. You no longer can sit up here and take the Saints fans for granted, because Saints fans, whether they want to admit it or not, stood on damn business. And they made that change happen just as much as Tyrann wants to believe that Alvin Kamara did. That's power. Understanding where you stand, drawing a line in the sand, and making the organization make a choice. Now, y'all can continue to do the same things that you have done and watch Saints fans file out towards the exits way before the game ends. And it woke up an entire organization. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Not only was Alvin Kamara responsible for that, but you need to take a bow too, because I honestly believe that Saints fans were extremely instrumental and what we're actually seeing right now, because it showed the entire organization, we not taking this ish, and y'all need to do something about it. So there it is right there. So let's go ahead and read some of these comments, then we'll go ahead and get up out of here, man. Says, I am glad Denise Allen is in a Saint. Just as much I welcome these high gas prices. Well, look, that's a whole nother story for another day. Lord have mercy. Put gas in my tank, $4 a gallon. God, dog, are you regular? Yep, they kept using injuries as an excuse to keep DA too. Yeah, that wasn't nah. Injuries played a role in some of the games, but look, the writing was on the wall. These guys didn't want to play for no DA. DA don't have the right mindset to be a head coach. I think he believes he has the right mindset, but it just not working out, man. It's rather you got it or you don't. And like I said, Dennis Allen is an incredibly talented defensive coordinator. Rather you like the guy or not. Rather you think that he is a good, coach, and like this guy is a really good defensive mind, right? Head coach, no sir. Couldn't coach my team. But as a defensive coordinator, absolutely. I'm serious. If I was a head coach and I need a defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen to be on my list. He'll be on my list. I got respect for him as a defensive coordinator. That's his wheelhouse right there. Like, and it's okay with that. It's okay. Look at Spags. Look at Spags, man. Spags has been killing in the league. Spags is responsible for the Chiefs getting the championship, responsible for the Giants getting the championship. Well, when he was a coach for the Rams, he stunk. When he was the tip coach for the Saints, he stunk. As a defensive coordinator, one of the best of all time. Spags is going to the Hall of Fame. As a defensive coordinator, he's going to the Hall of Fame. No doubt about it. Spags will be in the Hall of Fame. As a coach, no sir. No ma'am. No sir. Gail Benson had to force Mickey to fire DA. Yep, because he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have done that. We're about to flex on NFL now, bro. To your lips, to God's ears, my friend. DA was an end to a big beginning. Butterfly effect, man. It's the butterfly effect. Man, it's sink or swim. It's sink or swim. Like, people can challenge you. If you trash, if your performance at work has been ass, that's the only way I can just put it. I'm sorry. And you know that some changes need to be made. You got two choices. You can continue to be donkey, or you can try to step your game up. You can blame everybody. Oh, man, if my alarm clock went off a couple of times, I wouldn't have been late for work. If, man, all these doggone kids wouldn't get on my nerves. Like, you can make all these excuses all you want to. You can keep on, continue to make excuses, and nothing will change. Or you can try to figure out, what can I do better in order to change my situation? Because I want to be here, right? I need this job, or I want this job. I got to maintain this job. It is helping me do X, Y, Z. So what am I going to do to try to improve my performance? You got to look in the mirror, man. You got to look in the mirror and not just blame other people. Oh, man, if it wasn't for these doggone fans, man, Dennis Allen will be here. If it wasn't for 8K, no. Look at what you did wrong. Maybe you should have vetted more coaches. Maybe you should have went in a different direction. Maybe this whole buddy, family-oriented thing, it works in levels. Can't do it for everything else. Right? I mean, it makes you have to make changes. Gotta make changes, man. Like, if they would have kept on, if the Saints would have kept on doing the same old business post DA, I think that all Saints fans should have really held Gail Benson accountable. Like, it should have been to a point like, man, get him up out of here. They woke up. Like I said, they woke up. They woke up because they realized that, man, like, Saint fans, expect more because you showed them that you are capable of giving them more. People want as much as you can give them. And if you show them that what they need is attainable, and you take it away from them, what you gonna think they're gonna say? Man, nah, bro, I want that back. I want that old thing back. Right? That's what they're gonna like. No, man, don't be bird feeding nobody. You just gave me filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? We got lamb chops over here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all these different delicacies over here, top shelf, 4 season style. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna feed me after I went to the 4 season Piccadilly? No, nothing wrong with Piccadilly, but dang, man, I just been to the 4 seasons. I ain't got no problem with Piccadilly, man. I grew up on Piccadilly. But if I'm at the 4 seasons, man, and I got a chef with a French name I can't even pronounce, you know what I'm saying? Like, feed me steak, dropping it like Salt Bay, you know what I'm saying, on my steak. I ain't trying to go back to Piccadilly. If I know that I'm at the 4 seasons, I'm just not, man. Like, you showed us that you had the capabilities of doing something more. So don't put me back in the same position I was in before I realized how successful I can be. Don't put me back in a cardboard box, bruh. TJ, I felt that the dome was about completely empty with DA and DC were there. I mean, empty like was during COVID season. That would have gotten Gail and Mickey attention on how frustrated the fan base was. Yeah, I mean, fan base, you know, yeah, they were extremely frustrated and justifiably so. Once they said we're going to pop out and show them, I knew it was hell to come. I mean, them 2 games where they scored 92 points in 2 weeks, I mean, everybody was drinking the Kool-Aid. I ain't going to lie, but man, it was food gold. That reminded me of like some of them classic 90s Saints teams where, you know, they just, you know, they'll come out the gate smoking. Like, hey, boy, the Saints, boy, they went 3-0. Oh, man, we might do something this year. And then proceed to lose 7 straight. TJAK supposedly spearheading the DA firing is not much of an issue to me. DA was a big reason why AK wasn't as productive. They were using him incorrectly all that season. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't be using AK like he Craig, you know what I'm saying, Craig Ironhead Hayward or something, or Jerome Bettis. Like, the things that made Alvin Kamara special, and we've talked about this on, you know, several shows in the past. The things that made Alvin Kamara special was his ability to be able to catch the ball out of backfield and catch the ball and do things in space. And New Orleans Saints, for some rare reason, for the last 3 seasons, wanted to turn Alvin Kamara into Earl Campbell. I mean, I don't get it. Like, this guy's maybe, 200 pounds, you know, 205. Like, they have him listed at 215. I'm like, there's no way Alvin Kamara is 215. No way. There's no way he's 215. Alvin got to be like, as of right now, he got to be like 195, maybe 200. There's no way. There's no way AK is 215 pounds. Maybe when he first got into the league, he was around that weight, but no way. No way. And you using this man like he around this thing like he Bam Morris or something. You don't know who Bam Morris is, look it up. Marion Barber, rest in peace. They knew it, especially when you had people trying to put up billboards to have DA fired. Yeah, people was fed up, man. I can't wait to see 2 MF year left tackle Kevin Smith pancake Noah Bain, or I hope that's what happens. I think Kevin will overpower him. Just my opinion. I'm gonna address this up for you. You mean Calvin Banks? I assume that's what you're talking about, and you meant Reuben Bain, right? I assume, right? It said, I hope that happens, and I think Calvin will overpower him. Well, I mean, Calvin Banks is an incredibly talented left tackle, And Ruben Bain, I think that he's a guy with a chip on his shoulder. Just because he plays for the Bucks, I'm not going to sit up here and act as if all of the draft reports and some of you, including myself, was saying that they wouldn't mind seeing the Saints draft Ruben Bain. But just because he plays for the Ops, I'm not going to just sit up here and minimize the guy and say that he won't be a threat. Because if the Saints would have went to the podium and drafted Ruben Bain Jr. with the 8th pick, everybody would be sitting up here talking about, we back on defense, baby. So Ruben Bain is capable. And Calvin Banks has shown that he is capable, and I'm hoping that he can take the next step to be the next great Saint offensive lineman. TJ, when the Saints went 2-0 that year, things were looking up. Then a 7-game losing streak came fall off a cliff like Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, that was classic. That was that classic 90s Saints right there. Like, just have you all happy and excited, like y'all about to do something this season and maybe get to the playoffs. Nope. TJ, I'm betting AK has a much more productive season this year, just with Etienne taking that battering ram duty off of him. That's a lot of wear and tear he won't have to endure. I mean, on both guys, right? Alvin at this stage does not need to be carrying the ball 25 to 30 times a game. And if you're a guy like Travis Etienne and you just got paid, what, $40+ million, right? Like, you don't want nobody to be, giving you the ball 30, 40 times either. Like, you want somebody to be able to alleviate the pressure off of you. That way, if your team has to make a deep run, or they're playing much more meaningful games. I'm not going to disrespect Jim Mora because y'all know how he feel about a game, not calling a game meaningful. Much more meaningful games towards the end of the season when it's really down to the wire, right? You want to be able to have both of your horses in the barn, right? You don't want to have one of your horses available and the other one, have to get his horseshoe fixed. Thanks for clarifying that for me, TJ. I suck with names. That's all right, man. That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. I got what you're saying. And yeah, I mean, look, I think that both guys are going to be really good for their respective teams. And, I don't have any ill will towards Ruben Bain. Like, Ruben Bain, I hope that brother finds success. I hope so. Man, I ain't trying to see that man sit up here and, they already got these question marks about him, and he goes out there and he just proves those people right. Bump that. I mean, unless he's playing the Saints, I wish him the best. Let's see. Alvin is in the last year of his contract. Let him retire a Saint. I mean, if he wants to do that. But look, if you're asking me, if Alvin Kamara wants to play after 2026 and he has another season like he did the last couple of years, like he has a season like that, no, don't resign him. I'm sorry, folks. This isn't a soup kitchen here, right? Like Janet Jackson say, y'all remember that song? Some of y'all do. What have you done for me lately? It is a results-driven business. It is not a family business, right? I mean, if you have these players around long enough, you do feel like they're a member of your family. You don't want to see them on another team, but it is a production business. Plain and simple. It is a production business. It is not personal. If you feel like you can get somebody else in that place that can give you more than, say, a player that's been an elder statesman of a team, it is what it is. Because I'm telling y'all right now, think about this. I want y'all to take a minute. Take a minute and think about how long you were a Saints fan. Think about it. Think about how long you were a Saints fan. Wherever that number may be, right? It's 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, however long you have been a Saints fan. Think about all of the players that you have grown accustomed to knowing and appreciating. Now think about how long it's been since you've seen that player in the Saints uniform. The wheels keep turning, ladies and gentlemen. That's just what it is. It is not being selfish or not, like showing sympathy or empathy or whatever. It's a business. if you are running a Fortune 500 business, or you ain't even got to be running Fortune 500, you can have a fleet of trailers, a bus line, or whatever the heck you got going on. If something is hemorrhaging business, guess what? You're going to be like, man, what is this? And we got to get rid of this. We got to cut this. It may be something or someone that you hold dear. But guess what? If you want your business to continue to thrive or get out of the funk that it's in, guess what? You're going to have to make some tough decisions. So, back to the original point. If Alvin Kamara has another season like he has had over the last 3 seasons, you got to let him go. Gotta let him go. Can't just sit up here and say, oh, man, everybody want him to retire as a New Orleans Saint. Let's just bring him back. Like, man, bruh, this ain't the Undertaker after 30 years of destruction, right? I mean, you can, find bring the Undertaker out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna draw some money. Undertaker gonna show up. Like, Undertaker about 60 years old, 2 bad hips. But guess what? You put Undertaker on a marquee, he gonna walk out of there, take it 10 minutes to get to the ring, and everybody gonna lose their freaking mind and pay their money. But football ain't like that. You can't wheel out the old horse, old T-Biscuit in the NFL and think that people going to want to sit up there and be paying their hard-earned money if T-Biscuit can't run like he once did. Like he get to the if he go to the Kentucky Derby, guess what? He coming in last place. I mean, it can't happen, folks. It can't happen. I mean, I like AK as well the next man, but look at these stats. I mean, take a look at them, man. Look at the games missed. 15 games since 2022. 53 games played, averaging 4 yards a carry. But look at the numbers. Now, maybe this year, folks, not being a bell cow back, not having much of the responsibilities, you might be able to do something, but can't have another season. Cannot, shall not, shalln't have another season like that. Like, you got to have some type of justification to bringing this guy back. Like, you can make an argument. Okay, man, they weren't utilizing AK right. AK was the only running back that you had worth something. Fine. Fixing the offensive line, bringing in a guy that complements him, going to be more the feature back. If you don't produce then what can we say? So if he was a 900-yard rushing season, you won't want him back. Obviously, he's older, but I feel like if he's even giving you 500 yards, 300 receiving as a number 2, come on. What are we doing that for, though? Why are we doing that? I'm just saying, man, y'all ain't ready to have this conversation. All right, y'all ain't ready to have this conversation. If you think about this, Alvin Kamara, I don't know how much he getting paid. I don't have the figures in front of me, but I guarantee you getting paid more than your average run-of-the-mill rookie or young player in the National Football League. So you're saying 500 yards, 300 receiving yards, so 800 all-purpose yards, and he a number 2, and I wouldn't bring him back? Hell no, I ain't bringing him back. No, I'm not. Why would I bring back a 32-year-old running back with that type of stat line when I can give myself a 22, 23-year-old running back who probably, undrafted? Somebody that I drafted maybe in the 2nd round or 3rd round or something, that give you the same stat line, and I ain't got to pay him that much money. No, I'm not bringing him back. No, I am not bringing. I wouldn't. Why would you? What, man, bro? We gotta stop this, man. We gotta stop picking and choosing who we want to turn a blind eye to. And Cam, I'm not trying to beat up on you or anything that you're saying. I'm just saying in general, we gotta stop this. We pick and choose who we want to sit up here and validate. and this person can show signs of falling off, but we like them so much that we're willing to look past their imperfections or make excuses about them. No, I'm not like, why would you? No, why would you? Why would you bring back a guy who's getting 800? Oh, bro, you could get that with any like backup running back. You can. Like Tavares Cadet could have gave you that stat line. Like you don't have to pay that type of money for, like, if we're talking about 10 plus, 12 plus, 14 plus, like, man, you gotta be flirting with, hollering at. Come here, girl, with 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? You got to. Like, you can't see sitting up here half stepping. No, I wouldn't. Cam, I would not. Cam, like, my guy, I would not. No, not at all, man. No, no, man. I'm not doing that. I mean, if you're doing that, like, realistically, we're doing this because we love ourselves some Alvin Kamara. At that point, like, this is our guy. I don't want to see him in another uniform. Bring him on back, man. I can't see it. I can't dwell on the fact of seeing him run out in another team uniform. No, oh man, I wouldn't bring him back with that stat line. Says at a pay cut, TJ. Okay, Cal, at a pay cut. It depends on what the pay cut we talking about. Depends on the pay cut we talking about, man. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, cause I'm looking at some of these young bulls, man. I'm just looking at some of these young bulls that just need time and reps and can be what you need them to be. And maybe they don't carry the weight of the name right now, but maybe one day, they would. Like, talking about Devin Neal at this point in the same breath as an AK is blasphemous. But if you give Devin Neal opportunities, which we've seen, the more reps this dude was getting, the more stronger he was becoming. He actually was playing pretty doggone good. People have a tendency of forgetting that Devin Neal hurt himself on a play that he scored a touchdown. This man was getting yak. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was making things happen. He was coming into his own. That Tampa Bay game that he played, it seemed like things were starting to come together for the young bull. But I'm not trying to put this man on ice, because I want to sit up here and I want to keep on listening to New Edition, and I want to keep on bringing SWV to the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, this young brother right here, he can make some hits too. I mean, we all love, Mr. Telephone Man. We all love ourselves some Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? Tenderoni. We all love that, right? SWV week. That's those some tight jams. But at the end of the day, man, this man over here capable of making some hits in his own right. And maybe we need to hear some new music. So I like it's a business at the end of the day, folks. And I'm not saying, oh, don't love the players and don't appreciate the players. Like, please do that. But also be realistic about football being a business. Right? I mean, look, nobody want to sit up here to have a tough conversation about a family member. Nobody. I don't want to do that. But sometimes you got to have those conversations, man. I'm looking at it from a business perspective. Football is about results. Folks, it's about results, man. How many times we look at it like, God, dog, man, I ain't get this dude no time he got fired. Hey, man, dude just started coaching that team. He just got fired. Man, these teams ain't got no time, bro. Like, you got to win. You got to win. And if you're not, man, you got to figure out why you're not winning. Got to figure that out, folks. I hope I'm making sense, man. I just hope I'm making sense. And look, like I said, I love myself some AK, love myself some Cam Jordan, and all these other great players that have come down the pike when it comes to the Saints, but it is a business at the end of the day. And I tell people this, and I'm going to continue to advocate this and say this again and again and again until you all understand. The sooner you realize that football is a business, the more you'll be able to relax and take it for what it is. You can be upset that a player that you like ends up getting cut. Now, I'm not saying don't have a moral compass, but also realize that it's a business. And teams are going to do what is best for the team. And that's why players need to do what's best for the players. It's a business. I do love me some AK. Gotta play the OJs. Look, man, look, you gotta love it. Look, everybody love the OJs, man. Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Lovely lady. Everybody loves OJ. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the Isley, but y'all get what I'm saying, man. You know, Love Train. There we go. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody loves Love Train, right? People all over the world. Like everybody love it, right? But I said, who's that lady? Like that was actually the song. But at the end of the day, we all love the hits, right? But at the end of the day, man, we just gotta do what's best for business. On that note, that's the Isley brother. Yeah, y'all get what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying. OJ Love Train, right? Am I right about that, right? OJ did make Love Train, right? Did they not? Isley brothers made who's that lady? Caravan of Love, right? I mean, let's see, TJ, is it me or E-skill position in someone besides them to offset their strengths and weaknesses? Just think about it. Yeah, I mean, look, you need somebody to be able to offset it. You need somebody to be a good change of pace. You know, like somebody, look, football is about winning a battle of attrition. Sometimes winning a battle of attrition is to get guys that has like different skill sets that can do a multifaceted things to try to preserve each player. Footsteps in the dog. Oh man. Look, I should know those type of things because the radio station I work at, man, we play a little bit of we play a little bit of the OJs. Definitely play the Isley brothers. Yeah, man. I just put some OJs. Honestly, it's so crazy. You said OJs because I just put Love Train in rotation. Right? I mean, we have like this midday soul show that we have in early, like in the morning between 10 and 2. And I just put Love Train in that joint. It's in rotation right now. You know what I mean? TJ, I know Caesar won't block, so they might as well put in Jeremiah Wright there because Caesar is going to keep getting everybody in trouble. Well, your boy on borrowed time. I think Jeremiah Wright was the writing on the wall when it comes to that. But look, man, I had a good time, man. I had a good time. I did not expect to go as long as I did on this edition, but hey, here we are, man. If you're just joining us, be kind, rewind. We did a reaction on the interview that T-Stead did with Alvin Kamara, and we also talked a little bit about the comments that Tyrann Mathieu made about Alvin Kamara. And I just encourage each and every one of you to make sure that y'all subscribe to those brothers podcast channels, and also make sure that y'all check it out in its entirety. And shouts out to everybody in the chat making the show what it is. Please hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Please do it right now if you have not already. Help the channel to grow. Straight Up TJ, help it to grow, man. I just appreciate everybody stopping by and giving their perspective about this. We'll be back later on in a week to discuss more Saints football. Finally, we can probably talk about some of these undrafted rookies, break those guys down, see who has a good chance of making a team. And you know, the Saints roster is pretty stacked right now, man. It's going to be tough for a lot of these young UDFAs to be able to make the team, but a couple guys really have a chance. And we're going to be talking a little bit about some of those later on in the week. We're going to be showing some other reaction videos, not pertaining to the Saints, but other sports topics. Got my boy Marcellus Wiley in some trouble right now. My goodness, man. Look, everybody just stay at home, all right? Stay in the house. Right, stay at home. Stay in the house. All right. That's the best way for you to avoid trouble, avoid scandal, avoid allegations. Stay your behind in the house. All right. That's just like me right now. Look, I'm at the house. All right. This right here, this is my office. This is my house. This is where I'm at right now. I'm 10 toes down right now. Boom. On the floor at my house. All right. Just stay in the house. But we're going to be talking about Marcellus Wiley and so many other topics. You got Skip Bayless coming back to First Take, man. What about that? Right? I mean, being a B-side. It's like being a former heavyweight champion of the world and getting knocked out, and now you got to come back. You know, you got to be the first one to the ring, right? But we're going to talk about that and so many other topics, man. So you make sure that y'all subscribe to the Straight Up TJ podcast channel. Everything's not going to be all serious and uptight here on this channel, man. We purposely rebranded this because we want to have more of a joyous experience, man. You know, a channel that makes you think, have a good time, talk about some of the serious topics, but also be able to have a little fun in the process, man. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we won some of you over and you hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8. Also check me out on Bleacher Report. On Bleacher Report, you can check out some of the Saints shorts that I do at least 3 times a week. Make sure y'all check those out. And also on Yahoo Sports, you can see me and little snippets of the Straight Up TJ podcast that is available to you. Once again, shouts out to Lucy. All right, shouts out to Lucy being the official sponsor of the Straight Up TJ podcast. And shouts out to each and every one of you for making this show exactly what it is. Till next time. I'll see you.
DJ, yeah. Straight up. Let's go. Welcome to Straight Up TJAY. Tap in, sit back, press replay. Been locked in with the Saints on a weekday. Now we talking every sport, every big play. Years on the grind, now we level up the view. From the dome to the world, get a better look at you. No script.